February 14th was a very major event and unprecedented in Bahrain's modern history. Certainly, I don't remember anything of that on that scale, order of magnitude. And it had a lot of negative impact on business as well as the social and political scene. But I think it's more than just the actual loss in sales and the loss in profits and what have you of the companies. The biggest impact it had was on the negative sentiment that the country has been hit with, and the loss of confidence. And this is what I think we need to start working on now, to restore confidence in the country and bring back the investors, and go out with the message that really nothing much has changed. Bahrain is the same, that the people are the same in Bahrain. And I think the challenge for businesses is in firstly recognizing the difference in environment and cost. For example, banks, unfortunately, because of lowering the rating, are having to pay, it's more expensive having to borrow money. And the same filters all the way down to a lot of the business houses. So there are direct costs to this, financial costs. And I think those are the ones that are easier to deal with. The more difficult ones are the general confidence in the country and the economy. And that's what we need to build on. And see that there is really no basis for comparison whatsoever between Bahrain and the three other countries in the Middle East that have had some political turmoil, namely Tunisia, Egypt, and Yemen, because the standard of living in this country, the economic development in this country is far superior than you've had in the other countries. In the past 40 years since independence, and a few years even before that, the economic growth in this country has been consistent and has been positive every year. So if you were to average it, we'd probably average 4 or 5% average annual GDP growth since independence in 1971. And there's not many countries in the world that can boast of that. Admittedly, some of it is related to oil price, but you know, this is a fact of life. Bahrain does derive some of its income from oil. And as you are well aware, the government here provides very much a welfare state, so that education is free, not only in primary and secondary schools, but up to university levels is free of charge. And the ones that are very smart students actually get grants and scholarships paid for by the government of Bahrain to study outside of Bahrain. So they go to the best universities in Europe and America. Healthcare is free, dental care is free, medication and tablets and drugs are all free, and the government subsidizes food. All the basic food products are subsidized, whether it's meat or oil or fish or rice, or not fish, but rice, and petrol is subsidized, gas in the car is subsidized. Income duty, not income duty, but customs duty on imports is something around 5% for most products, and for food items it's even lower than that. And so the country and the population enjoys a certain standard of living which is not enjoyed in the other countries that we've talked about. Also, other countries in the region have generally suffered from dictatorships and total lack of democratic institutions. And this is not the case in Bahrain. Bahrain has an elected parliament, and all the elections have always been certified to be 100% honest and transparent. And there are numerous institutions and political societies established in Bahrain since the year 2001. There is absolute freedom of expression, I think, within the law, you know, whatever the law allows. There's a constitution that was drawn up based on the national charter, which was voted on in the year 2001, and that was based on approval of 98.4% of the Bahraini population. And so I think there is, Bahrain enjoys many benefits. The Bahraini people enjoy many benefits that other countries and other populations don't enjoy. So therefore, the reasoning for the events that happened here on February 14th are entirely different, I think. No, a lot of it, I have to say, unfortunately, does not make sense. But it's partly the unrest in February was driven by a regional climate, if you will, of free expression. And I think on the back of that, some irresponsible elements weeded their way into the opposition movement in Bahrain and started demanding not just the basic, obviously Bahrain was not perfect by any means, no country is perfect. And so there were legitimate demands without any doubt for more transparency, perhaps, more freedom of expression, perhaps, more freedom of the press, perhaps, why not? But these legitimate demands were infiltrated by members of irresponsible opposition, which elevated the demands to the point where they wanted a change of regime. And to us as Bahrainis, we consider ourselves to be not just my family, but many of the people who were born in my generation feel that we've helped build this country. We've contributed to its development, not just ourselves, but our fathers and grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers, to the level that it was at, which was, I think, a commendable level for a developing nation. So we are very happy with the regime the way it is, and we're very happy with the rule of the Al Khalifa family, and with the rule of King Hamad and the Prime Minister and the Crown Prince. And we don't need these major changes. We don't need them. They are bad for the country. And so I think to go back to your question, to explain the reason all this happened and escalated to that point, I think is just irresponsible elements of opposition who would benefit from chaos. And I can only say that no responsible citizen in any country can benefit from chaos. It's always irresponsible citizens, and this is what you had here.